everybody, how's it going? It's the Daily Shooter, and today we're going to be taking a look at some electronic noise canceling hearing protection from a company called Opsmen. These are the M31 set of electronic earmuffs, a very nice set, extremely comfortable, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about these real quick. Now, I think most people are going to be familiar with your Howard Light Impact Sports, your Walker Razors, your Walker Razor Slims, and there's other options out there that can get pretty expensive. These ones right here, I believe, are a step above the Walkers and the Howard Lights, but still come in at a pretty good price. As a matter of fact, you can get these on Amazon. I believe they're just over 40 bucks. I'll put a link down in the description box if you guys are interested in checking them out. But these have a lot of great features. One of my favorite features is something that's actually fairly simple, and that is the geometry of the ear cup. As you can see, it's not an oval, it's not a square, it's not a rectangle. It is a shape that more comfortably fits your entire ear. So one of the problems that I have with the Howard Light Impact Sports is that they have this kind of long rectangular shape to them. And when I'm trying to get the proper cheek weld, sometimes I can kind of get a little bit of pressure on the back of the ear cup. And if I push on it a little bit too much, I get this gap. And I'm telling you right now, if you get surprised by that noise, I mean, if you get a little bit of a gap in the back there, it pretty much does nothing. And it will hurt your ears. You end up with a nice little ringing to them. These ones right here fit my entire ear, and they have a pretty generous amount of padding as well, so that my ear sits in there, and I don't have to worry about a gap forming pretty much anywhere. So if I put a little bit of pressure on these, because my ear's inside, basically it just pushes the foam up on my ear, and it doesn't allow any type of gap. So I like the shape of the ear cup on these. Really comfortable, really nice, and I don't have to worry about getting surprised at all. So that's kind of one of my favorite features. Another feature that I like is going to be the battery life on these. These have 350 hours of battery life, which is fantastic. And they have an auto shut-off feature, which shows up at about the 4-hour mark. So after 4 hours, these are going to auto shut off, and that's going to save your battery. I probably leave my EarPro on every other time that I use them. So I have a problem remembering to turn these things off. I just take them off, throw them in the truck or something like that, and I forget to turn them off. So after 4 hours, they'll turn it off, and it'll extend your battery life. So 350 hours of runtime on these is pretty nice. Now, another thing I like about these is that they're water resistant. You guys know that when it comes to a lot of the more popular brands out there, the battery compartment is typically located towards the top right here. So you'd have to remove some type of cap or some type of cover, and then you would put your batteries in and then close that cap up. Well, that cap is not waterproof. It's not sealed in any way. So you can get some moisture in there. If it starts raining, that water can creep in there and it'll start to corrode the connectors for your batteries. But these ones right here, they have two separate battery compartments. Each one houses a AAA battery, and they are waterproof. They're O-ring sealed, and so it's going to keep out that moisture. So these are really easy to take off. All you have to do is twist them, pop these out, and you can see we have access to our AAA battery. And again, it's going to help keep it a little bit more water resistant than other options that are on the market. So I don't have to worry if it's moist outside, because no water is going to get in there. And again, it's a pretty solid construction, pretty thick plastic. I believe it's like 3mm plastic. So they're a very, very tough headset as well. It's not any type of thin plastic that you're going to find on these. So again, a fully sealed design, fully sealed ear section, and then you have this rubber O-ring sealed battery compartment. So that, I believe, is also a very nice feature. Now, instead of having a rotary dial or something where you control the volume as well as the power with one little knob, these are a push button design. So you can see that our power button is located in the center right there. Press that to turn them on. You would hold that down for 3 seconds to turn them off, and then you simply press up or down in order to increase or decrease the volume that you're going to get out of these. And these have a cutoff at 82 decibels. So anything higher than that 82 decibel rating is going to get cut off by the microphone. You're not going to hear it. You're just going to get full hearing protection at that point. But up to 82 decibels, you're going to be able to hear it through the speakers in here. Now, these also have a spot for, let's see if we can find it right here. These also have a spot if you want to attach a 3.5mm headphone jack, so you can attach these to your phone, or you can attach these to a music player, and you can listen to music while you're out there having a good time, and so you can use that for that. Now, these do not have any two-way comms, so there's no way there's no two-way communication on this particular model. They have another set. I'll also link those down below. I believe those are the M32s. The M32s do have a microphone that extends out of the front, so if you want to attach some type of communication device, you can do that as as well. But these are a little bit less expensive and a more simplified design than the M32s. These again are the M31s. Now you can get arc rail adapters for these, or you can buy a set that has arc rail adapters pre-installed so you can hook them up to your ballistic helmet or your bump helmet. But for me, I use a Hardhead Veterans ballistic helmet and bump helmet, and they both have M-LOK slots instead of your standard arc rail. So I'd have to get something that would attach to an M-LOK slot. So one of the things that I was happy about is that they have a very slim headband. This is very slim. There's just a little bit of padding. Like I said, it's very comfortable, but there's not much to it up here. So the fact that these are so slim means that I can actually use these inside my helmet. So all I have to do is just simply put these on first and then put my helmet over the top of these. And because it's so slim, it doesn't really add any extra to the padding that's in there, and they feel pretty comfortable. They sit in there nice and slim just like that, and they fit in these little ear sections no problem. So I can wear these with both my ballistic and my bump helmet without having to worry about getting any extra adapters or anything like that. And again, with the Hardhead Veterans helmet, because they don't use a standard arc rail, they use the M-LOK, that works out perfect for me. Now, one more thing I want to mention before we get into a quick comparison here is that the Opsmen M31s are EMI RFI shielded, so you don't have to worry about any type of interference when you're using these. Now, in terms of comparison, the first thing I want to show you guys is a visual representation of what I was talking about when it comes to the ear cups. So like I was saying before, the M31s are the most comfortable, they fit your entire ear, but it's easier to understand that when you actually take a look at all three side by side. So here we have our Howard Light Impact Sports. And like I was saying before, the ear cup is big, the ear cup is long, and the amount of padding that you have here is minimal. And I've had these all for a while now, and the plastic has gotten pretty hard, so they don't really seal very well either. And so it can't fit my entire ear in there. It doesn't seal very well, and because they're so long, again, I can push up on these and I can get a gap, and that gap leads to that ringing in the ear. Now, when it comes to the Walker Razors, which are going to be my second favorite of this group right here, the Walker Razors have definitely a nicer ear cup, but still you can see they're both that oval shape, just like a standard shape. These have much nicer padding, so they tend to seal on your ear or around your ear a little bit better than the Howard Lights. So the Walkers, I would say, are definitely better, but still you end up with that same thing where you can get a gap. You can see here that with the M31s, the design is completely different, and it allows for a complete fitment around the ear, and it has extremely soft padding on it so that you get a better seal with these. So for me, when it comes to hearing protection, that's what I want it to do. I want it to protect my hearing, and if it doesn't do that, then obviously we have a problem. Sometimes I end up having to double up on my hearing protection just because I'm worried about these kind of coming off my ear a little bit. With these, I have not had to do that yet. It's just, they're perfect. Again, your entire ear fits inside, and if you get a little bit of pushback on it, you're not going to get that gap like you do with the other ones. So let's go ahead and take a look at the headbands. The headbands, to be honest with you, are all fairly similar. The Howard Light headbands, similar. You can see our M31s, the headband, again, is very similar. And then our Walker Razors. Now, the Walker Razors are going to be the ones that have the most padding on it, but they're also the most thick, and I cannot wear these underneath my helmet. It's just a little bit too thick, and it holds the helmet up a little bit high, and I do get a little bit of pinch on my head. So it's a little bit too thick if you plan on wearing these with a helmet. If you wanted to increase the padding on any of these, all you have to do is just get a bridge that will go over the top right here that uses Velcro, basically just wraps on with Velcro, and it gives you that little extra padding that you would want underneath each one of these. But if you're talking about using these for multiple purposes, including underneath the helmet, then I would say that these two would probably be better than the Walker Razors. Now, as far as everything else goes, fairly similar. This one has a turn dial on it that you would use in order to adjust your volume. This one has a turn dial on it right here that you would use in order to adjust your volume. And then again, the M31s are a push button design. And then if we put these side by side, you can kind of get a better idea of the length of the hearing protection as well. So you can see the Impact Sports and the Walker Razors are a little bit longer than the M31s. Now let's go ahead and throw these on the scale because they're definitely going to be 3 different weights on these. I'm going to say that the M31s are going to be the heaviest of the bunch, but let's go ahead and put them on the scale and see what we come up with. So we'll start off with the Howard Lights. These are probably going to be the lightest of the 3. So we have 10.2 ounces there. Take a look at the Walker Razors. 11.8 ounces. All of these have batteries in them, by the way. Should mention that as well. And then the last one's going to be the M31s, which come in at a solid 13 ounces. So you can see the difference between the three as far as the weight goes. Now, I know that hearing protection reviews aren't the most exciting thing in the world, but because we all need to use them, I figure that it's something that definitely needs to be out there, and I think people like options, so I'm just giving you guys another option that you can look at. Again, there'll be a link in the description box for these. I want to thank all of you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell notification next to it. That'll let you know when my videos come out, especially if YouTube tries to suppress us one more time. So again, I want to thank everybody very much for watching, and have a great day.